Hello, my friends. This is Rick, and little Missy's sitting here, of course. She decided to join me in the room. I tried 3 times to get her off the table, and she just keeps rolling right back up here. Obviously, I just finished doing the video for this one, and she doesn't want to get off the thing. There we go. Yeah, I know. Come here. You're just a wall of fur on there. Oh, she's come a long, long way since when she first stopped in this house. We are looking at yet another game accessory for 2nd edition AD&D, Forgotten Realms, the Port of Ravensbluff. Right? And blah, blah, blah. 1991. Now, most of the entries, pretty much all the entries in these Ravensbluff supplements were created by players and submitted to TSR for approval. So here we have a replica paper model. Now, I have had players who swear by paper and cardboard cutouts for terrain, and I have played my share of campaigns with them, and I think they have a viable use. Especially if you're poor like me and you still want that 3-dimensional look. All right. So we have welcome to the Port of Ravensbluff, and it has a list of different types of ships, and then a list of different types of business and proprietors, and then we have some personalities and oddities, and then the Living Cities Writer Guide and the RPGA Network membership form. So, the Port and the Living City. So, we have the Offspray, the Fair Weather, Spike McGurk's Flotilla of Death. This is worth looking at. So, if you take a look at the basically, he's got a bunch of giant goony birds that he's taught how to very badly fly off the prow of these 3 ships of his. Total of 3 ships spit by Spike McGurk's Flotilla of Death hardly seems like much of a flotilla at all. The Flotilla of Death is the last word is emphasized for the maximum impressiveness. It's actually 3 long wooden barges with tall sails aft and long wooden ramps at the angle skyward at the bow. A dozen or more huge, silly-looking birds circle the ships, often colliding with each other and the barges. On the deck, small green humanoids with long white shirts scuttle from place to place, tending to the needs of the massive birds and to the ship's chores. This is Spike McGurk's greatest venture. Right? So he's got Talassi crew and these big giant goony birds. Yeah, Skyke has great hopes for his Talassi/Goonie Bird Armada. He gets along with the Talassi, who perform well in the low-danger missions, such as their most recent success, chasing a lost giant water beetle away from the Ravensbluff. However, McGurk is quite aware that they probably would have been slaughtered had it been a lost dragon turtle. It's just saying, right? So it's the novelty of it. The Soarhawk, who's a bounty hunter, famous bounty hunter, or infamous bounty hunter. The Skippy with Gramps. The Submarine. This is what happens when you get too much treasure and you know how to get a hold of some damn gnomes. You end up with a gnome submarine, I guess that's what we want to call it. Now we get into Solican Bay Rats Tug Services, Princess Cardinella and the Seaside Salvage Company, Safe Harbor Marine Insurance Company, which is just a cover for something a little bit more nefarious, Davy Jones Lockup, protected by some pretty vicious gorilla-like things. I forget what they call them here. What's they here somewhere? Where they at? All right. Yeah, I don't want to come in here at nighttime. Most people think the net's only sitting there for decoration. Not the case. Davy has brought and trained 3 carnivorous apes, Pete, Mike, and Mickey, who are hiding in the rafters. They have been instructed to net anyone in the warehouse as not part of the regular staff. As long as there's no attempt is made to escape the net, the apes will hold their appetites in check. But if an invader attempts to force his or her way out free of the nets, the apes will attack, attempt to kill and eat the victim. There you go. And then like some pretty stalwart security for your warehouse, right? Billard's maintenance yard. Barnacle Bill's Greenbeard's shaving parlor. Zorba's fish market. Fillerin's sushi bar. Mystic star charts. Towton's ivory and scrimshaw. Ashacker's accessories. Quaylen's home for the wayward boys. The Shark Fin restaurant. The lighthouse. Right. The Far Guardian's traveler's mission. I want to say it's a tavern, but that don't sound right. It's more like maybe it's something like a guild would run. Right? I don't know where we at. Far Guardian Traveler Mission's new one-story brick building with a tile roof mission serves as a tavern restaurant that caters to locals and also functions as a full-service boarding establishment serving transients who pay an annual fee. It is owned and operated by 4 retired adventurers. Okay, so this is where your group could base themselves out of this place. Have all their basic needs catered to for a price. High sea shipping. The Cat and the Mouse. Catherine Cat Kincaid is a 5th level female human fighter, and Otto the Mouse is a 3rd level human thief. Right? Ringing bell for emergencies only. Calvin's Bell. Wreck of the Sea Lion. Venture ideas for the Sea Lion. Sharky's Bar and Grill. Nothing like an underground or underwater tavern for all your aquatic needs. Right there. Right? Yeah. It says Starkey started his bar and grill at its current size, including all the tables, chairs, and bars. Most of the materials used came from shipwrecks or were purchased with treasure from shipwrecks. First customers, mostly mermen, found the bar to be cavernous and quiet. Eventually, other races found the bar attracted at first by the noise and colored continual light spells placed on the outside of the bar by a friendly surface wizard passing through on an adventure. Right, it just goes on and on and on. The thing about these sort of source books is they seem a little cliche or a little niche or whatever. But what I really like about them is that there's so many opportunities that just tap this stuff for other settings, for other games. There's no guarantee that it absolutely has to be. Well, here we got the Living Cities Writers Guidelines. Like I said, I wrote, I don't know, half dozen different supplements that tried to get them published. Of course, I was younger then. They never went anywhere. I never heard anything back from them. It's just kind of the nature. You got to know that that's kind of what goes hand in hand with this sort of stuff. It is what it is. This is still a nice little source book, quote. And I use the term source book because it's not a module. It's just a collection of different locations that can be found inside of Ravensbluff. But once again, every one of these things could be easily transplanted to any other city. In a lot of cases, some of the stuff can translate over genres too. You just have to consider where you're at. You know, when I think of Star Wars as an example, there are a lot of source books that for fantasy settings that work great in a Star Wars campaign or a Traveler campaign or any kind of high fantasy, high science fiction and fantasy campaign, because the wide range of primitive and local worlds, it justifies having them. So your lightsaber wielding, blaster packing group can go and find himself on a world where everybody's mostly, for the most part, the locals are all using something out of a fantasy setting. You know, it just is what it is. Something to consider anyway. Me and little Missy sitting over here beside the computer behaving herself. Hope you are preparing for a great holiday weekend. 4th of July is coming up, like I said. I have some co-worker and his wife that's coming, Kevin and his wife are coming over on Saturday because she has to work on the 4th, and my sister's spouse is in rehab, she's coming over, and my sister's coming over on the 4th, so it'll just be the 3 of us and probably her yappy ass dog who likes to pee on my carpet and terrorize our cats. But you know, she's the only sibling I got, so you got to kind of, you know, do what you got to do. I enjoy having her come over when she does. You know, although I tend to go off on the political rants pretty fast because I'm really agitated these days over shit I can't control and things that scare me because I'm getting old. I'm getting old and getting scared all the damn time. It's just getting to be a pain in the ass, right? Anyway, I'm me, you're you. Well, Missy's over here.